For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia's carried out one of its deadliest attacks on the country since the war began 2.5 years ago. 2 Russian ballistic missiles struck an educational facility and nearby hospital in central eastern Ukraine, killing at least 41 people and wounding 180 others. The strike occurred in the city of Poltava, some 70 miles from the border with Russia. Zelensky's appealing for more weapons from allies. He said the Russian scum will undoubtedly be held accountable for this strike, and once again we urge everyone in the world who has the power to stop this terror. Air defense systems and missiles are needed in Ukraine, not in a warehouse somewhere. Every day of delay, unfortunately, means more lives lost, Zelensky said. A general strike in Israel over the weekend put airports, public transportation, and other key services to a standstill after 6 Israeli hostages were found dead in Gaza, including an American. Israel's largest trade union called for the strike, and tens of thousands took to the streets, blaming Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for failing to reach a ceasefire and hostage swap agreement with Hamas after nearly 11 months of war. Netanyahu apologized in a national address, but doubled down his commitment to end Hamas's rule. His comments translated by Al Jazeera.
I told the families, and I will say it again tonight, I apologize and ask for your forgiveness because we couldn't bring them back alive. We were close, but we failed. Let me say this again tonight. Israel will not remain silent on this massacre. Hamas will pay the price. A very high price.
Protests continued Monday night outside his home, with people in red paint holding a die-in with their arms and feet bound like hostages. The killing of an American citizen also drew condemnation from the Biden administration. President Joe Biden said Hamas will pay over the weekend, and later, during questions from the media, when asked if he thought Netanyahu was doing enough to secure a hostage release, Biden said no. He has released a ceasefire plan that's gained no traction, as Netanyahu's demanding a continued presence in Gaza, which Hamas rejects. Meanwhile, thousands took to the streets in New York to protest the war in Gaza. The United Kingdom has suspended some arms shipments to Israel, FSN's Ollie Barrett reports.
UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy announced the suspension of 30 out of around 350 arms export licences to Israel over a risk of use in violations of international law.
These include equipment that we assess is for use in the current conflict in Gaza, such as important components which go into military aircraft, including fighter aircraft, helicopters and drones, as well as items which facilitate ground targeting.
The UK insists it continues to support Israel's right to defend itself and is not imposing a full arms embargo. In London, I'm Ollie Barrett.
In Gaza, a vaccination campaign is underway against polio after the first case was detected in a baby that has since been paralyzed. Pacifica's Romeo Magari reports.
Yalla mama, yalla mama.
Yalla. At the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital and Central Gaza Strip, Mohammed Abu Mu'aid, 3-year-old daughter Salma, has just received a polio vaccine.
I
thank God for the availability of this medicine that will eventually end disease.
The 10-day-long vaccination campaign, sponsored by World Health Organization, UNICEF, and UNRWA, will involve 640,000 children under the age of 10. Dr. Yusuf Abul Rish is Deputy Minister of Health in Gaza.
They are just focusing on the area which was called like the humanitarian zone alone, while our people are located in other areas which they refuse to have any permission for them to reach that point. We have a decision just that we'll go even under hazard to reach anyone, any child who is in need for vaccination. We reach him even if we are not totally safe, as there is no place which is safe at Gaza.
For Pacifica Radio, KPFA, I am Rami Al-Mighari in Gaza.
President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris campaigned on Labor Day in Pennsylvania, a swing state. Harris, the Democratic presidential candidate, hailed unions on the holiday.
Everywhere I go, I tell people, look, you may not be a union member. You better thank a union member for the 5-day work for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. Because what we know is when union wages go up, everybody's wages go up.
The Duke campaigned in Pittsburgh. More than 10,000 workers at 25 U.S. hotels are on strike after choosing Labor Day weekend to amplify their demands for higher pay, fairer workloads, and the reversal of COVID-era cuts. The Unite Here union said Monday 200 workers at the Hilton Baltimore Inn Harbor were the latest to walk off the job. Nearly half the striking housekeepers and other hospitality workers are in Honolulu. Thousands of others are striking in Boston, Seattle, and San Francisco. In Boston, Massachusetts Democrat Elizabeth Warren addressed strikers.
When workers go on strike, Donald Trump thinks corporate executives should fire them. Democrats believe when workers go on strike, our leaders should walk the picket line with them.
Some 2,500 hotel workers in San Francisco were among those to hit the picket line. The strikes targeting Marriott, Hilton, and Hyatt hotels are set to last 1 to 3 days. Unionized housekeepers want to reinstate automatic daily room cleaning, saying they have unmanageable workloads and a decline in income. Republican leaders are opposing a November initiative in Ohio aimed at combating gerrymandering. Farah Siddiqui has more.
House Speaker Mike Johnson visited Cleveland to raise funds against an anti-gerrymandering amendment on the Ohio ballot, which would give redistricting power to a citizen board rather than lawmakers.
When politicians are in charge of drawing maps, both parties will rig them for their favor. They take away our choice, they take away our power.
Jen Miller with the League of Women Voters says it's enormously popular, having gotten support from 500,000 voters. I'm Farah Siddiqui for Pacifica Network and Public News Service.
I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.